everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It's Friday, it's another news day because we've got some release details and pricing for the first route in TSW that is coming out of the Netherlands. That is the Spoorlijn Zwolle Groningen. Before we go through the article, as we usually do, and have a chat about that, why don't we watch the first look trailer? Here we go. Yeah, so as you saw there in the trailer, this is coming to Racing World on the 25th of March. Again, not long to wait. We've already got the Cardiff network coming out. So let's have a look at the article, which has been provided by the lovely DTG Harry. And we got the route map. I think we've seen that before, haven't we, the route map, which is going from Zwolle up to Groningen. First Dutch route in Racing World, as we mentioned. New signals, signage, PIS and ATB safety system. So you've heard from me before on this when we've talked about it in the roadmap. I'm quite looking forward to the fact that we're in a new country and we've got a new safety system to learn as well, which I know nothing about at this moment in time, so it's all going to be new. So that's one of the things I'm quite looking forward to. I don't think we've had a new type of safety system to get used to for quite some time, so that'll be good. Let's have a read of the Gump before we look at the screenshots. The Netherlands sit against a coastline bordered by Belgium to the south and Germany to the east. Players familiar with the German Bremen-Oldenburg route will note that Groningen is just over 100 kilometres from Oldenburg, yet there's so much to separate the respective railways operated between the two nations. This route covers 107 kilometres between the cities of Zwolle in the province of Overijssel and Groningen in the province of Groningen, the capital of the north. I'll try my best with the Dutch pronunciations, but you know what my reputation is always like with all these non-English names. I will try my best. The line between Zwolle and Groningen owes its lineage to the State Railways Construction Act of 1860, which would see the construction of the Netherlands' first three major state-owned railway routes linking large key towns and cities. Zwolle to Meppel was built as part of Line A, with Line C branching off at Meppel to continue towards Groningen via Assen. By 1870, the connection between Zwolle and Groningen was complete. There's the Sprinter. That should be quite nice to drive. There's more screenshots of that as we progress through the article. With the advance of time, the route has been periodically upgraded, not least of all in the 1970s with rebuilt stations and 1.5 kilovolt overhead electrification, which is the standard for Dutch railways. As of November 2023, the line through Hoogeveen station, Hoogeveen, there we go, Hoogeveen, I hope that's correct, has been widened and realigned to increase the speed of intercity services. Zwolle station at the southern end of the route was designed by Nicholas Kamperjik and built by the Rijkswaterstaat in 1866. All you Dutch guys watching this are laughing, aren't you? I know you are. It's one of... Oh my god, look at this. It is one of two Stadspoorwegen first class Waterstaat stations in the country. Awarded first class, I gotta put my teeth back in. Awarded first class for its size. In 2023, the station served over 44,000 passengers. The station has a bike shed with spaces for 5,800 bicycles, one of the largest in the Netherlands. You're not kidding. And bicycles are, of course, a huge part of Dutch culture and transportation. Cyclists can therefore be seen as occasional traffic through the route. That's interesting. I don't think we've ever seen anybody riding a bike before in the game. There's obviously, in various routes, there's bikes just static as scenery, but I don't think we've seen people on bikes. I think we've only seen people sitting and walking up to this point. Along the rest of the route, players will pass through 6 intermediate stations adorned with NS signage in the Dutch language and unique PIS, as well as the unique trackside signage that will inform drivers of how to operate their trains along the route. Now, the trains themselves, we've covered this a little bit more before, but let's just revisit because there's some great screenshots and showing the platforms as well with the signage that was just mentioned up here as well. This one is the ICMM Koplopler, of course, and they are operating intercity trains with its uniquely styled cockpit. This is the ICMM Koplopler. In 1977, the original 7 prototypes were run, none of which unfortunately survived today. The first unit, 4011, was then delivered for regular service in 1983. The ICM received the name Koplopler because it had what's called a walk-through head. The unique design of the ICM has the cabs located on the roof, which initially allowed through gangways between coupled sets. Refurbishment of the sets between 2006 and 2011 removed these gangways as they were deemed unreliable. With a design top speed of 160 km per hour, this train runs service speeds limited to 140 km per hour, but were run and tested to 180 km per hour during development. Prototypes of the ICM were built and tested in 1976 to 77, with the first train sets coming into service in 1977. It has become an iconic train for NS, serving many intercity services to this day. Just look, we talked about this a lot, but look just how high up that cab is compared to the passengers walking down the platform. That's nuts. It's right up there. And this screenshot you can see here from the cab, I've actually used this as the screenshot for today's video because I find this really impressive and I love the layout in the cab. I'm hoping all these different functions all work for something. Again, it's something I don't know about at the moment, but I'm looking forward to getting into this one. The cab has a central driving position elevated high above the track. The speed indicator runs lengthways across from left to right, much like that of older American cars, with a shader bar indicating the current speed. Independent handles are used for the brakes and the power. And then we got the S&G Sprinter, which looks a whole lot more modern than the Koplopler. And the S&G Sprinter EMU is included as well. The Sprinter new generation train sets are part of the CAF Civity family of regional passenger trains and were introduced to replace the older push-pull locomotive hold services. And there's a quick shot from inside as well, showing the onboard PIS, which is quite nice. In March 2015, NS allowed travellers and staff to choose possible interiors. Interested parties could choose from 3 interiors, with seats for the first and second class and folding seats. The results have been an important factor in the interior choices of the new Sprinters. That's interesting. Initially, the S&G trains had a dark blue front. While this colour met EU standards, the combination of the dark colour and large window made it difficult to see the train at level crossings. So, NS would repaint 150 trains it already had, while new trains will be delivered with the new yellow colour. So, what do we get as far as services? Well, a new train, new country, 2 new trains, new countries, new gameplay, and a new experience. And as far as timetables and scenarios go, you do have a varied timetable with both express and local services running along the length of the route, and there is a total of 339 playable services across the 2. The Koplopler services will run between Zwolle and Meppel, and the full-length limited stop between Zwolle and Groningen. On average, each of these patterns is half hourly in each direction, so it's going to be busy, isn't it? Some of these services will have conductor mode available, which is the new thing going forward on routes in TSW5, of course. SNG3 services will run Zwolle to Groningen, stopping Meppel to Zwolle and Assen to Groningen. These patterns run half hourly on average, with the Assen Groningen services only running in the morning and afternoon rush hour. And like the Koplopler, a selection of services will have the conductor mode. At Zwolle, the AI services run by both trains will go in and out of the map, representing trains serving out of map locations. And at the Groningen end, coupling procedures will take place to make double units and similarly uncoupling to split services up. There will be playable ECS depot moves at Groningen, Europa Park and at Onnen. And including the ECS moves, the Koplopler has 150 services, the SNG3 has over 170 services. Now, what about layers to get value from other DLC that you've already got in TSW5? So it does tell us there is a selection of static AI and a handful of playable services if you've got other add-ons. So there are 2 playable freight services, which is the Vectron, which comes from Frankfurt Fulda, hauling the ZA CNS stock from Dresden Riese on what is otherwise a relatively freight-free corridor, probably due to the fact that services are every half hour. It's not the best place to run freight, really, is it? There are also a small number of G6 shunting moves, which will unlock if you own the G6 Loco add-on, which is interesting because you can't use that in very many places at the moment, so it's nice that that's going to appear again. The Follens wagons from the BR155 add-on will appear as static stock. So here's the full list of layers. If you want to make the full use of the DLC, you will need the G6 Shunter, Dresden Riese, Frankfurt Fulda, the BR155, Rösignord and Rhein-Ruhr Osten. And the full timetable, including the layers, will be available across all platforms, including 8th gen. We've not seen that for quite a while. So that's including everybody this time, which is quite nice. Usual scenarios, there's also collectibles, but what about the price? So it's going to release on the 25th of March. So it's not far away at all, is it really? And 11 days from the time I am making this video, which is Friday the 14th. Xbox One, Series X and S, PlayStation 4, 5, Epic Games and Steam. So it's €39.99, £32.99, $44.99. And if you're not even took the jump yet into Train Sim World 5, there will be a Dutch regional edition available, which is quite nice. And that's only £2 more. So there you go. If you don't own Train Sim World 5 yet, maybe that is the way you want to jump in, especially if you are a fan of Dutch Railways or resident in the Netherlands. So, as always, what do you think? There's been a lot of releases just recently, hasn't there? There's been quite a few. It's going to make an impact on your wallet, that's for sure, if you want all these things. That's the only problem, isn't it, these days? But there's a lot of good content coming out. I'm hopeful about this. If it doesn't tell us on here if we're having a preview stream, it doesn't mention that. It usually will tell us. Let me just double check down the bottom. I don't think it tells us on here, unless I missed it. It's usually right down the bottom. It tells us when the first time is that we can see it. No, it doesn't say that. So it's got to be coming up, a few days before, hasn't it? We'll keep our eyes open for that. It's exciting because it's a new country. I'm intrigued by the Koplopler. I've watched one of the other ambassadors sent me a real life driver's view video some time back when this was first announced, and I watched that, and that seating position for the Koplopler looked even better on the real cab view that was on YouTube. Go and have a look for that. Just Google it or YouTube it. You'll find it. There's a couple on there. So to get that big commanding position driving this mega train is going to be awesome. It's going to be really good and a little bit different to what we've had before. So obviously I'm looking quite forward to this. It's just something new. What do you think, though? What do you think? I know most of my audience are interested in the UK stuff, but I know a lot of you, like me, pretty much play everything in TSW5. So it's looking good, isn't it? It's looking good. It looked good from the trailer that we saw right at the beginning. But as always, I'm interested in what you want to think. So let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching. Do leave me a little like, and I will see you on the next video. Bye for now. Take care, everybody.